Well, hello guys. So this video is going to be a little bit of a special one. I'm starting it with no makeup on because I'm going to be putting makeup on in this video. And also, firstly, apologies for sounding very congested. I am fighting the end of a cold, so sound awful and look pretty awful as well. Hopefully by the end of this video I might look a little bit better. But I don't know if any of you guys saw, but a couple of weeks ago my friend Anna, or the Anna Edit here on YouTube, did a 10 years later favourites video. So basically took her favourites from 2010 and rebought them, dug them up out of her collection and tried them again to see what she thought 10 years later. I absolutely loved this video. I thought it was brilliant to watch, so entertaining from a perspective of somebody who was doing YouTube as well at the time, related to all of those product favourites. A couple of them are in mine as well, and I just thought it was so funny watching her go through, and it's just a really nice trip down memory lane. So thank you Anna and Mark, I think it was actually his idea, for the idea to do this video. I am going to do it as well, and I will link Anna's video. This is really old school YouTube, isn't it? It's like a tag video. I'll link Anna's video below so you guys can check it out if you follow her, because it's a good video. Anyway, so my 2010 favourites. In case you guys didn't know, I've been doing YouTube since 2009. I started in September 2009.
Hi everyone, so I decided to do a what's in my bag video.
So I've been doing it for almost 10.5 years. And when it came to finding like 10-year-old favourites, I actually hadn't done like a year roundup for that year like Anna did, but I took a lot of my like monthly favourites from 2009 to 2010 and put them all in this video for a little bit of a trip down memory lane with you all. So I'm going to start it all with one that I had to go to Superdrug to get, and they still sold it. They actually call it a classic now. It's been around for that long. The Gosh Velvet Touch Primer.
Okay, so the first thing I do is I take some of Gosh's foundation primer.
Now I have a feeling I'm going to hate this because I actually don't use a huge amount of primer anymore. I loved it at the time, but I remember it feeling really weird. It's like a silicone based primer, so like a clear gel, and it feels quite funky. I actually have super dry skin at the moment. Oh, it feels so weird. It's one of those things that I think you apply it and then it doesn't feel so weird after a few seconds. But I've got really unhappy dry winter skin at the moment, so hopefully this will be okay and won't like dry out too much. Feels all greasy. Ugh. Silicone primers kind of do that though, and then they sink into your skin and then you can't feel them. So I'm hoping in like maybe 5 seconds it will be okay. But I'm gonna follow that up. Like I said, some primers, actually that does look quite nice. Definitely hidden some pores, which I have a few more pores in 2020 than I did back in 2010. That's for sure. And I'm gonna follow that up with an old classic foundation, MAC Studio Sculpt. Now this was one of the first foundations that I bought when I first started doing YouTube. I think it was probably newly released back then. I definitely used to wear NW25 and now know that I probably should be wearing NC25. But I mean, I look so pale in this video. You can tell it's winter. I need to get some fake tan. I actually really wanted to try and track down Chanel Pro Lumiere, but that got discontinued the year I started YouTube. I think it got discontinued, no, maybe in 2010. It was so good, it was so brilliant. Well, I think it was. I might not think the same thing now, but yeah, I couldn't find that anywhere, and if I did, it would be mega old, and as a liquid foundation, probably not worth using. But MAC still makes Studio Sculpt.
The MAC foundation that I use is Studio Sculpt, and I've spoken about it a lot on YouTube.
It's like a thick cream, medium to full coverage, and I used to apply it with a stippling brush. I think this is a Sephora one. I actually quite like this brush, but the original one was like 3 times as big and from MAC, but I don't have it anymore. So I'm gonna just stipple a little on, and I used to do this all over and then blend it in, which now I've seen the way of the beauty blender and I basically never go back, rarely go back. Actually, nice. Actually has a nice finish, quite moisturizing actually, which is what my skin needs right now. I feel like this with a beauty blender would be so good. I look so pale, guys. I need a tan so bad. I'm gonna get some fake tan drops out when I finish this video. I feel like you can't really see too much of the finish because it's very natural. Like, it's not sheeny, but it's not super, super matte either. It's just kind of like perfected everything a little bit. But I actually do quite like that. That actually looks okay. Right, for concealer. This was my favourite concealer when I first started YouTube, and I rebought it for this video, and I'm actually kind of sad because I think it might be a little bit dark. It's the Benefit Boing Industrial Strength Concealer.
So after that I take Benefit's concealer in Boing, which actually is in the Big Beautiful Eyes palette here.
Now, I don't know why I thought in 2010 that my eye bags needed industrial strength concealing, but they certainly do 10 years later because I get a whole lot less sleep. Yeah, this is too dark. Ah, so annoying. I'm gonna put it on anyway, very sparingly, because I've already done it. My god, this is actually so nice. I think it'll be okay like on my nose, just not under my eyes. And it blends really nice. It's very, very creamy actually. Creamier than I remember. Yeah, it's a little bit dark. I think I can pull it off though if we blend it. Definitely should have got number one. It would be good colour in the summer for me, I think. I'm actually loving this foundation. It looks really nice. And the concealer is good. I mean, so far so good, guys. I'm happy with it. In terms of bronzer, I'm not going to go in with powder just yet. I'm going to let my foundation sit. But I was partial back then to the classic Hoola. Now, I didn't have to repurchase this. I still had it in my collection. This one actually isn't that old. I feel like I am in desperate need of this, and I know I still love it because it's just a classic. I haven't actually used it in quite a long time though.
And then I just use Benefit's Hoola bronzer, which I need a new one. There's the front.
Love that, still love that. Benefit Hoola, there's a lot of Benefit actually. And this one is another one that I remember doing. I think I did like a full review video of this, or maybe that was Bella Bamba. That bird, I'm not sure, entirely sure what's going on outside my window then. When Bella Bamba came out, I remember doing a full video on it called Bella Bamba or Not to Bella Bamba, something like that. Not cool. Anyway, this is Sugar Bomb, and this is actually my original one from 2010.
Another thing that I only just got last week, but I do love it, and I think it deserves to be in the monthly favourites because it is my favourite, and it is Benefit's Sugar Bomb blush, which looks like that.
It doesn't have mould on it, so I feel like it's okay. We're just going to use it for this video. It will be alright. It smells sweet. I have a cold right now and I can't smell anything, but I picked this out when I didn't have this awful cold, and it still smells like sweeties. It's a nice mixture of orange, pink, coral and purple all together. And I think I'm gonna like this because I feel like it's quite safe. I feel like my makeup in general still is and always has been fairly safe. Just wait till we get to the lipstick that wasn't so safe. But yeah, pretty blush. And I think they still make this as well, which makes me really happy. Really natural and pretty. Like that. Benefit nailing it 10 years later. For powder, it's what I've been using this mirror. This is MAC Mineralized Skinfinish Natural.
Another thing from MAC though that I do think is absolutely great for setting your foundation is Mineralized Skinfinish Natural.
In shade light. I think I used to wear shade light medium, but it turns out they don't make that anymore. They make light plus or something like that. Anyway, I went for light, and as far as I can remember, everybody was obsessed with this powder. Nice. It's a nice powder. It's just a powder. Powdered. I don't know what all the hype was about that. It's a powder. In Anna's video, she actually dug out the original, the classic Dior Amber Diamonds, and it got me on a little trip down memory lane. I actually still have mine as well. This is actually a really gorgeous product. It's so pretty. But I'm going to take Anna's Amber Diamonds and I'm going to raise her Rose Diamonds. Now, these two highlighters are probably some of the first products that I owned from Dior, and I remember the rose one being my favourite, even though it wasn't everyone else's. I absolutely loved this, and again, I used to use it a bit on my eyes, a bit as a highlighter, and it's just really pretty. It's actually like kind of a blush as well. A bit more of a multi-use product than the other one, but let's see how this fares 10 years later, because it is very pink and very shimmery. I'm gonna take the like highlightery side. Pretty. I feel like it's quite obvious. I feel like out of all of these, yeah, it's like very pink and very obvious. I feel like out of all of these products, highlighters are one of the things that has come on the most since 2010 in terms of like the formulation, the amount of products out there, like what you're getting is there. It's definitely there, and it's definitely pink. I think that's probably enough highlighter for me. I'm going to put some on my eyes as well. The other thing that I realised when I was watching these videos back, I didn't do anything to my eyebrows until probably 2013 at all. Not even a pencil, I just left them. And I quite wanted to like keep that look going strong, but I've actually had microblading, so I can't. Like, it genuinely looks like my eyebrows look like they've got makeup in them. Now they don't. But I thought that was quite funny, like all of this product, and I look back at my eyebrows and I'm like, they looked horrendous. Like, actually just like patchy, like overplucked, just horrendous. It wasn't a good look at all. Amber diamonds for me, I mean, it's a no for 2020, but I see where I was going with that. I can see where I was going. Moving on to eyes, I actually have a real trip down memory lane for you all here in the form of Urban Decay Book of Shadows. This is the Alice in Wonderland version. I actually had Book of Shadows Volume 1, Volume 2, and this one. Maybe there was another one. I can't actually remember, but this one I kept. I think I might have given the other two to my niece. But I mean, look at this. This was an eyeshadow palette and a half. Back in the day, we didn't do things by halves. And I mean, have I even used any of these colours? Probably not. I probably used the neutral ones. But the reason why I dug this out, I mean, really, like, I wouldn't wear these. Why was I so insistent on having this palette? Who knows? It was a collector thing. Eyeshadow primer potion. I don't use eyeshadow primer now. I don't really think it does that much, unless you're going to be like, I don't know, sweating, which I'm not going to be sweating in my makeup, I hope, because I'm not going to be wearing makeup to the gym. But everyone was obsessed with eyeshadow primer at this point. Face primer, eyeshadow primer. I feel like it was just, the more layers you can get on the face, the better. Whereas I feel like now it's kind of the opposite. But I remember, and Anna actually mentioned this about the videos on how to depot a Urban Decay primer potion back in the day when they used to be in tubes like this and they used to collect product here and here. I actually made one of those videos, and I remember I think the dog, Woof, if anyone remember Woof, I think she had chewed my eyeshadow primer potion, and I therefore had to like cut it open and get the product out and put it into a pot.
And then I'm gonna just scoop the product out of here and just paste it into the pot like that. Okay.
Here it is, on the lids in all its glory, an eyeshadow primer. I mean, and then they brought out the tinted versions of these, and I think we all kind of realised that it's just like a cream eyeshadow. But there we go. Mattifies, fills in, makes everything stick to it. At the time, I thought it was essential. Now, I'm not so sure. As somebody who's never had major problems with creasing eyeshadow, I think this might have been a waste of money at the time. But it was a favourite, so it's going on my eyes. And it feels quite nice. Goes on quite creamy, and then it like dries down to be a bit tacky. And then for eyeshadows, I'm also going to take you down memory lane with my MAC palette that I've kept.
Now, MAC eyeshadows, like, it's something where you can go into the shop and you can be totally, like, amazed by the array of...
Now, I actually had these in an old-fashioned palette, and I got given one of the newer ones a little while ago when I was working with MAC doing my lipstick. So I actually put together a palette of, like, my old favourites. So in here, we have Naked Lunch, which was probably my like very, very favourite. Very pale, very sparkly. Had Naked Lunch, All That Glitters is here, Twinks is here, Sable is here, Satin Taupe is here. Anyone remember these? Anyone been watching for that long? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to mix them up. I'm going to do a little bit of an eyeshadow look with my 2010 top eyeshadows. I'm going to go in first with Naked Lunch, which I thought was like the best of the best eyeshadow. And now looking at it, it's a champagne-y, it's a pale champagne. I mean, it's not awful. It's a little bit pinkier than I would go now, but I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna put Naked Lunch all over the lid. So pale and shimmery right now. I'm going to take a little bit of All That Glitters as well. Anna used this in her video. I feel like this is just kind of a variation on the same eyeshadow. It's a bit less pink. I quite like that actually. And then I'm going to go in with Twinks, which is the browny, slightly shimmery brown. And I'm going to put that right up in here, which is it's a 2010 look right there. Right up in the crease, rather than in the corner. It's like just in the crease there. So shimmery, like the whole look is just, get a bit closer for you all. Just all shimmer right there. I'm gonna blend it in. Little fluffy brush. Probably had this brush since 2010. The great thing about brushes is that they last forever. What do we reckon to that? It's a bit more than I would go for now, but I like it. I like it. Safe, it's safe. The other thing that I always used to do back in 2010 was waterline and tightline my eyes with a very dark coaly eye pencil. This is MAC Feline, which, if anyone remembers, I think they still actually make this. It was limited edition at one point, and then they made it permanent. It's so smudgy that you end up with it all under your eye after about 2 hours, but it's like the blackest of black eyeliners. It's dark. And I used to put it, I'd basically just line my waterline all the way to the inner corner and then do it on top as well. It was like nothing on the top or the bottom, like softly blended. It was like the hard line on the inside. And a lot of these products I actually didn't have to repurchase for this video because I have a stash of makeup that I keep in storage in like drawers. Not necessarily to ever use or because I really love them. It's more so for videos like this, like looking back so I can remember like what was big, what I had, what I used and things like that. So I do have like a lot of the classics backed up for times like these when you need them for a one-off fantastic look. Mascara wise, one of my favourite mascaras, and actually one of my favourite mascara brands back when I first started YouTube, was Maybelline. And it was around the time that they launched the Colossal mascara, I started my channel. So this was one of the first mascaras I spoke about, along with like L'Oreal Telescopic and stuff like that. I don't know if that one's still out actually. I don't know if they make the original Colossal anymore, but this is called the Colossal Go Extreme in Very Black. And I can't remember what the shape of the wand was like to see if they actually have changed this or not. But this is the mascara that I loved, or a relation to it, an upgraded version. So let's see. I pretty much have always loved big fat lashes. I've always liked volume in my lashes, but I think back in 2010 when I was 21, I think I probably went a little bit bigger on the lashes than I do now. Like I probably did like 6 coats of this. First impressions, it's good, but it's not as good as I remember it being. Good. It's not like my favourite. It wouldn't be a favourite now, but I would definitely like use it up as a mascara. Last but not least, guys, I've kept the best till last. Oh, I also have a little bit of Fix Plus. Anyone else remember this? Which was the original setting spray, along with Urban Decay, All Nighter and Skindinavia. Does anyone remember the Skindinavia ones? I think they actually made the Urban Decay setting sprays back in the day. This actually feels good after that, and the smell is nostalgic. Not that I can smell it today, but I did smell it when I went and rebought this. I was like, wow, that takes me back. Yeah, it's aggressive though. It is an aggressive spray, but it feels good after having dry skin and all that powder. It feels nice. So yeah, there is that. Fix Plus is good. The original, not the best, but still the original. And then for lips, Anna actually mentioned this colour in her video that she did and was like, thank God I hadn't had that as my favourite. Well, I did. MAC Saint Germain, whatever you want to call it. Back in the day, it was between this and Show Orchid. Show Orchid is like, they still make that as well. It's like the colour of my jumper. Maybe a little bit of a purple shimmer in there as well. This is probably one of the worst colour lipsticks I've ever seen, in terms of like It's just not going to be flattering, is it? Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. I remember loving as well, was it Barry M 129? That lilac-y, lavendery colour. I mean, I feel like this isn't showing up as awful. No, it is. It still looks awful. Like, it is. How would I ever wear this? How? Why? It's just a bad look. I'm glad to know I wasn't alone though, because it definitely was like everyone was wearing these kind of colours. Oh my god. It's actually luminous. Like, I feel like you can't see it to its full hideousness because it's quite bright in this video. Oh my god. It's not a good look, guys. Not a good look. I do feel like I look better than I did at the beginning of the video though. Like, I look a bit less dead, a little bit more bronzed, quite a lot more bronzed. And I just, this lipstick, fantastic. So yes, that is it for my 2010 favourites revisited. Thank you so much to Anna for the video idea. I've thoroughly enjoyed doing this and I enjoyed watching yours as well. Overall, pleasantly surprised. Really like the foundation. I think I'm going to try that out, especially with Beauty Blender. Really like a lot of the Benefit products. The only things I would say I'm not convinced on is the Pinky Pale highlight. Using all of the shimmery MAC eyeshadows together, because now I would definitely use like a matte brown instead of all the shimmers. And let's face it, this lipstick is the worst. The worst. Just the worst. Even when you're 21, just it's not a good look. And it's really not a good look when you're 31. That's for sure. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope if some of you are still watching that were subscribed back in 2010, comment below and let me know. I know there are some of you still out there, and it means so much to me that you've been around the whole time, because I feel like we've been through it all together. We've been through a lot together, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. I will see you very soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye. Oh, look at this gorgeous lipstick. Oh, it's just divine. It's my favourite.